Hey y'all, we are looking at nervous tissue and we're going to compare with histology the differences in shapes of neurons. There are roughly 3 or 4 basic shapes that neurons can have. We're going to go over 3. This type of neuron that you see here, this is called a multipolar neuron. What multipolar means is that every neuron has to have dendrites and axons because it needs to communicate with something else. We're going to 400x right now. It needs to receive information from one thing and then communicate that information somewhere else. So this one is a multipolar. What that means is it's going to have several branched dendrites. So you can see one dendrite here, here's another, and then usually one major axon, which can branch a little bit more later on, but usually one major axon. So once again, a multipolar neuron, several dendrites, lots of branched dendrites, and usually one major axon. We see multipolar neurons in the spinal cord, in the brain. Basically, if the cell is within the central nervous system, then if the cell body is within the central nervous system, then it's a multipolar neuron. So even if it extends out of the spinal cord, like a motor neuron, like this one, even if it extends outside of the spinal cord, it's still typically a multipolar neuron. So that's multipolar. Sensory neurons tend to be a different kind of shape. We are at 40x total of a dorsal root ganglion, which is where sensory neurons of somatosensory neurons, their cell bodies reside. Here is 100x. And here is 400x. All right, so these larger cell bodies you see, those are neuronal cell bodies. The smaller ones are of glial cells. We'll get to that later. But these larger ones, those are the sensory neuron cell bodies, somatosensation, like for touch, temperature, pain. You don't really see the axons. It's because the axons are off to the side. At least you don't see them around right next to the cell body. The axons are off to the side. You have to imagine this in 3 dimensions. All of this waviness that you see, like left and right waviness in this image, those are the axons. There are cell bodies. Those are of satellite Schwann cells, or not Schwann cells. Yeah, Schwann cells. But those are axons that are off to the side. So basically, the cell body is off to the side while the axon is on another side. These are called pseudo-unipolar neurons. Pseudo-unipolar. It looks like the neuron only has one side to it, but it has 2 sides. The way you can envision this, imagine a line, and then branching off of the line is the cell body. So rather than dendrites, cell body, then axon, like multipolar and what we'll see with bipolar, this is just a cell body off to the side with a major axon and a dendrite at the very, very tip, because the dendrites are going to be in the skin or some other area like that where it's sensing something. So in the dorsal root ganglion, we have these neurons, and the shape of these neurons is pseudo-unipolar. In the eye and in other areas, we have, in specific areas of special senses, we have special neurons called bipolar shaped neurons. Bipolar means it's a lot like the multipolar. You've got dendrites on one end, axons on the other, but there's only one or 2 dendrites and then 1 axon, and they're very, very short. So this occurs in the retina. It also occurs in like the nasal epithelium. Here we are at the back of the eye, the retina. I'm at 400x now. Where the arrow is now, where this is, these are the photoreceptors and their nuclei. And then here, where I'm pointing, these are bipolar cells. So these are the nuclei of the bipolar cells. Their dendrites are right here. Their axons are right here. So they're very short. The whole cell fits in this image. I'm going to 400x. So once again, these are the cell bodies of the bipolar neurons. These are the dendrites. These are the axons communicating with the next cell in line. So these bipolar cells are very short. We only see bipolar neurons usually in sensory, but for special senses, like for smell and for vision. So those are 3 basic shapes of neurons. Multipolar, the cell body has to be found in the central nervous system, so it could be an interneuron, it could be a motor neuron. Pseudounipolar, that's typically for somatosensation, so touch, temperature, pain, stuff like that. And the cell body would be in the dorsal root ganglion. And then bipolar, also sensory, but for special senses. Things like vision, like these bipolar cells in the retina, or olfactory cells, the ones found in your olfactory epithelium in your nose.